I'm like, what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? Live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given is a gift. If I'm I'ma live with the death. So what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? And live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given is a gift. If I'ma live with the death. Yeah.
All right, everybody, again, welcome to the Living Hope Agency call. Couldn't be more excited for our topic tonight. You know, a lot of the time we get on here and we train on skills. We train on the basics of how to sell life insurance, buying leads, dialing the phone, doing the presentation, whether over the phone or in person. And we don't talk enough about, I think, this topic, and it's leadership. I was taught a very long time ago that if you want to be a leader, you must first lead yourself. Okay, so this call might be a little bit more esoteric than y'all are used to, just because, you know, typically it's like, hey, here's the phone script, here's the activity, here's what we do. But this is the mindset. This is how you create influence in the world. How, you know, not only do you become, you know, when people think leaders, they think agency manager. Like, in order for me to be a leader, I have to lead a bunch of people. No, you can lead your clients. You can lead anybody that you talk to, and ultimately you can learn to lead yourself, which is going to be the first step here. So I just want to talk at first and just talk about how leadership, it's not a title, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that are sales manager, a senior sales manager, vice president, top producer, whatever. Like, it's not a title. Leadership is an action. You know, it's what you do, it's who you are. And just because, you know, your team specifically has grown to a certain point and, you know, you have a title, that doesn't mean that you're a leader. Okay. When it comes to leadership, I always like to say this: the little things are the big things. It all matters and everyone's watching. Okay. The little things are the big things. You know, trust me, I think about this all the time. Me just moving across the country, not having my licenses for a couple of weeks. I'm like, oh man, the little things, the big things, everyone's seeing me, not working, not leading from the front. I got to get back to it as quickly as possible, because the little things are the big things. You start to notice people, you know, stop working, and you start to have a little bit less respect for them, you know, and as you start to build a team, it's just perception is everything. You know, people want to see somebody that leads from the front. So it all matters because everyone's watching. Some people, you may be on here and you might think, you know, the little things, they don't matter, but the little things will be the reason that you're going to lead a successful or, you know, a failing organization. I think that's super important. Or even just be able to lead your clients successfully is going to be because of leadership. Okay. You know, in very simple terms, if you're going to write anything down, leadership equals influence. Okay, leadership equals influence. I went on, you know, Google and wanted the definition of influence. Influence is, you know, the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. So that, I mean, that could work for selling, that could work for building a team. To have the effect on the character, development, behavior of someone or something. So that could be, you know, can you lead somebody to make a decision that's important for their life? Getting life insurance is one of the most important decisions that somebody can make. Can you lead somebody to take the right actions that's going to help them get the correct results? Leadership equals influence. Okay. When we are talking about building, you know, an organization, because I think it's important that if you're going to be here, you know, I want to talk about the next level. So we teach you how to sell life insurance. We teach you how to get to 20 families a month. That's it. You get to 20 families a month. You really don't have to get that much better from a skill set perspective. Like, I honestly, and this is not an insult to like Candy or Logan or Nat or any of the top producers, I really don't think that anybody is much better than a 20 or 30 family a month producer. The only difference is those three in particular spend 3 to 4 times as much on leads than the rest of us. Okay. Most of us are not that much better than 20 to 30 families a month. Okay. They just spend more on leads. They do more reps. They run more appointments. That's it. End of story. But when we talk about getting to that level, that's the first step. First, you need to learn how to sell life insurance. You get to 20 to 30 families a month. You're at a point where now you're like, you know what? I got this. I can sell life insurance. Now it's, can I increase that number, obviously, by my leads and my activity? But then can I teach my first person how to sell life insurance? Recruiting, sharing the opportunity, that's another conversation we're not really going to have too much of tonight. But can I start by leading one person? First, I have to lead myself to learning the skill set, but then can I lead somebody else to learning the skill set too? And once you've proven that you can do it and you've proven that you can teach it, then you start teaching to multiple people. Then other leaders start to develop in your business. And now first you're doing, then you're teaching, then you're teaching people how to teach. And like, that's how you build an insurance organization. Do teach people how to teach, create layers of leadership. So, if you're going to build a big organization, you need to have influence to be able to lead somebody. And, the question is, how do you know if you actually have influence? How do you know if you are a leader? Two very, very simple things you can look for. Like, number one, are there any followers? And number two, do you have positive results? If you're going to lead an organization specifically, if there's no one following you, unfortunately, you're not leading anybody. And are there positive results? Maybe you have people following you, but nobody's getting positive results. Like, that's not true leadership. True leadership is leading people into positive results. So there's followers and there's positive results. Leadership, I also think it's measurable. It has to be measurable. It has to be, measurable results that can be demonstrated by your personal sales and by seeing other people advance within your agency. If your personal sales aren't there and nobody's advancing within your agency, again, there's a void in leadership. If people aren't selling at a high level, they're not advancing, there's a void in leadership within the organization. I think one of the most simple things that leaders learn how to do, again, leader of yourself or a leader of others, is how to direct somebody's focus. Learning how to direct your own focus, that's leading yourself. That's like the programming, the stuff we have going on inside of our head. Can I direct my own focus, and can I direct the focus of others? We talk about attitude being your most important thing. Like, your attitude's obviously caught by others. I think every day we have a very simple choice when we start building this business. We have a choice of what attitude that we want to have for that day. Your responsibility to choose to be positive and to be expectant that good things are going to happen for your business. That will ripple through your business. There's something called the law of expectation. The law of expectation, it teaches us that we typically get out of life what we expect. We typically get out of life what we expect. So if you expect your FFL business to grow, expect customers to have a positive experience with your tremendous service. Expect people to be interested in learning how to create an additional income through FFL. Because what you focus on, it's going to replicate through the people that you work with. If you bring anybody into this business, if you focus on problems, they'll focus on problems. You talk about how the leads suck, they're going to talk about how the leads suck. You focus on solutions, you focus on positive success stories, they're going to focus on solutions and positive success stories. So, are you talking to other people about what's going well? Are you talking about where you're going, the positive things? Are you talking about people who quit? Are you talking about people who couldn't hang? Are you talking about the negative things? Are you complaining because you had one bad lead in a batch of 100? Like, what are you talking about? What are you replicating to other people? You have to pay attention to what you focus on, because your people, they're going to do exactly what you do. People don't do what you say. They do what you do. Okay. And when you're positive, you typically do what you say you're going to do. And when you do what you say you're going to do around other people, your credibility goes up with them. So if I say I'm going to help 10 families, if I say I'm going to dial the phone for 8 hours and I do it, my credibility goes up as someone who does what they say they're going to do. If I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, my credibility goes down. When your credibility goes up, your influence goes up. And when your influence goes up, that's when leadership actually becomes real. So we have to, constantly be sharing that vision with anybody about where we're going. I mean, you can lead your spouse because guess what? Entrepreneurship's not easy. I got to be constantly casting the vision of where we're going, why we're doing it, why we're working so hard, why we're making the sacrifices, where are we going? Always talking about it, always focusing on it, especially in front of anybody that you're going to be working with. A very easy question to ask, especially if you ever have the aspirations to build an agency, is would you follow yourself? Okay, cliche, but cliche stuff, I like the cliche stuff. It works. Would you follow you? If yes, why? Why would you follow you? If no, why not? That's a really easy way to get real with yourself. Would you follow you? If yes, why? If no, why? And then the other question is, if everybody on your team did what you did today, would your business grow? Like, be honest, what'd you do today? Were you just sitting around pretending to dial, taking all day to dial? Did you actually dial all day, book some appointments? Did you make any telesale appointments? Did you make progress? Like progress is the most important thing. Like results is another thing. Results is important, but did you make progress? If everyone in your business made progress every day, at least you're going in the right direction. But did you just sit there all day, think about working, not work, do anything to avoid the work, like play around and scroll on Facebook? Like what were you doing? And if everybody in your team, if you had 100 U's on your team today, would you grow? And it gets you fired up when you're able to honestly answer yes. And like, it gets you very, like, you got to be reflective when that answer is no. Like, there's no reason that you need to like be down on yourself. There's no guilt, because guess what? You get to smack the reset button every single day in this business. This is like the most redeeming business in the world. Guys, I just moved and I'm now in South Carolina. I was in Oregon. I was doing 100% in the home. And I got some Oregon leads that are stacked up from my few weeks not having a license as they transferred. So guess what? I've had to switch to telesales for the last couple of days. My first day doing telesales was on Thursday. I got my butt kicked. However, I had one big sale that made up for everything. Then I was at Mike Curry's office all day. So even in the midst of me getting my butt kicked, I was still positive. But then I went home. And this was my first day doing like a full 12-hour day of telesales. And I swear I almost threw my computer through the wall. Like I was not having it. And I got in my own head, and it got to a point where it was like a snowballing, and it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse throughout the day, to the point where I was basically telling them not to buy life insurance from me because of my attitude. It was just getting worse and worse and worse. So guys, it happens to me too. Like, it doesn't matter. I've sold over $1 million worth of life insurance in the home, but I'm on a huge learning curve right now with telesales. I'm learning. But then today, then Saturday, I had a couple huge policies. And then, today I'm in the office, and, positive, refresh, smack the reset button, having a good day, so every day is different. It's the most redeeming business in the world. You can smack the reset button, and every day you can reset and say, if everyone on my team did what I did, would I grow? Which is exciting. So you don't have to stick in it if you have a bad day. You don't have to stick in it if you have a bad week, bad month. You can change that. You're one appointment away, one policy away, one client away from redeeming your day, redeeming your month, redeeming your business, and putting you back on track to do something positive, which is exciting. So here are a couple characteristics of leaders. And then I'm going to talk about something I learned from John Maxwell, which is super powerful, here in a second. But 3 major characteristics of leaders that you have to embody if you want to truly become a leader. And these are common threads amongst the most successful people on the planet. So it's not anything special. I guess it's special amongst these people who are considered leaders, but number one, they take 100% personal responsibility for their business and their life. 100% personal responsibility. The leads don't suck, you suck. And I'm trying to be politically correct here. That's a line from a movie, Glengarry Glen Ross. So I'm not telling you that, but that is how I feel. The leads don't suck, you suck. The phones aren't hard, you're not good enough. And it's just the unfortunate truth. I just want to be real with you. I don't want to lie. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. You have to take 100% personal responsibility. Guys, guess what? That day that I got my butt kicked, I had 10 appointments back to back, hour on the hour. And I'm thinking, I'm going to crush it today. My first day doing telesales, I did great. Second day, 10 appointments. This is going to be great. And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse throughout the day, to the point where I was like, man, I hate telesales. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, no, I just want to go back in the home. Like, this sucks. But then I was like, I got real with myself. I'm like, no, like, you've just done 2,000 in-person appointments. What if you just gave yourself a chance to did 100 telesales? You probably get confident in that too. I had to take a deep breath and be like, you know what? It's not them, because if I look back, the common thread was I was getting more aggravated throughout the day, and I probably missed out on a bunch of sales that I could have gotten. That's the reality. So I had to sit back and take personal responsibility for everything in my business. So I think it's important to live at cause and not at effect. Leaders, whether practically their fault or not, they take personal responsibility. 2, self-confidence. You gain confidence through understanding you have a great opportunity, improving your skills, and controlling what goes on in your mind. And then we can gain confidence through knowledge. We can gain confidence through the ability to share knowledge with people. And, I study this guy. Let's see if I got it back here. So General Patton, okay, George S. Patton, This is my dude. I studied him for a long time. And you have to have a superiority complex, and not in like an egotistical way, because I'd rather you have a superiority complex than an inferiority complex. You have to realize you're not better than anybody. But you're not a piece of crap either. You have to have some confidence, at the end of the day, to be able to have control on insurance. I also know I have an insurance license, and my clients, they don't. So I have to have that mentality. Last couple things, guys, initiative. Leaders have initiative. They do the right thing when no one's watching. Now to close this call out, because I got to run out of here. I got the Wi-Fi guy coming in here. Levels of leadership. John Maxwell. Level 1, position. Level 2, permission. I'll repeat these. Position, permission, production, people development, and pinnacle. Position, I hired you. You don't know nothing about me. I'm your upline by name only. Permission, you've given me permission to coach you. That's it. Production, I've proven to you that I deserve to be your leader by the production that I do, by leading from the front. People development, you've learned how to teach. You're teaching and developing people. And then pinnacle, that's like a Sean Mike. You've been doing it so well for so long that people respect you, that people follow you. It's as simple as that. So permission, position, permission, production, people development, pinnacle. You want to get to that production level leadership. If you get to production level leadership, your life will change. Because guess what? Productive people follow productive people. You want to attract a productive person into this business, you have to become productive. So that's how you become a leader. Short and sweet. Commit to becoming a leader. And 2 really good quotes to end this. Every great king was once a great servant. It's one of my favorites. And then the last one, leadership is the ability to remain humble through achievement and lift others up. So stay humble, work your freaking ass off. Everyone's watching, and they'll follow you if you're worth following. Love you guys. Everyone have a great night. Peace out.